let's talk vacations. We love going on vacation. We travel at least 3 times a year. So what we really want to communicate to you guys is you can go on vacation and still enjoy everything without depriving yourself of, new foods that you want to try, drinks, desserts, all that kind of stuff. You can still eat all of that and have success while you're on vacation. You don't have to go on vacation, gain a ton of weight, come back and feel like shit for weeks, because who wants to do that, right? So we're gonna give you our tips, our tricks, our advice on how to have success going on vacation. So do you want to start by kind of breaking down how you used to vacation?
Sure. So my vacations consisted of whatever I wanted it to. Food didn't matter, drinks didn't matter. I ate what I felt like eating and drank what I felt like drinking. And I looked a certain way because of it, but over the last couple of months, that hasn't been the case. So.
Yes. So since we've been married, we're married, it's still 5 years, right? Like 5, 6, 5 years. So we went on our honeymoon to Mexico. So I have been doing macros pretty much since then. And I didn't ever really follow it on vacation. And what would happen for me was I would feel awesome when I went on vacation when I got there. And then I'm like, okay, I'm on vacation. And I would eat, whatever. I would still keep in mind what I was doing. I wouldn't totally ball out and eat things that I normally wouldn't, or excessive amounts, because I didn't want to feel like crap, especially on vacation. So it got to the point where a couple years ago we went away with another couple, and I decided, okay, I'm still going to just be mindful during the day. I would watch my breakfast and my lunch. I would have drinks, but I wasn't going to be in my phone, tracking. So we had a blast, of course, but by the 5th day, I remember telling you, I'm like, oh my God, I feel so disgusting. I can't wait to get back home. Now at this point, I didn't bring a scale with me on vacation, any type of scale. And when I came home, I really didn't fit into any of my pants, my workout clothes, right? I just felt horrible. And I gained, it was somewhere around 11 pounds. It was pretty bad. So it took me weeks to get it off, call it 3 weeks, right? So that's an entire month where I felt like not myself. So from that point on, I was like, all right, I can't keep doing this, especially because we travel so frequently. So, for me, okay, I worked so hard to get to where I am. Is it really worth me not tracking and just feeling like that for a month at a time? And that's 3 whole months out of the year. That's for me, not acceptable. That's a quarter of my year. I don't want to feel like that. So, all right, let's back it up a little bit. So since then, I would start loosely tracking. And the reason why I didn't do this before was because I thought that Rich was going to get annoyed with me because I would be, in my MyFitnessPal, whatever.
Which is true.
That's what I was going to ask him. So I said to him, the one vacation, I said, I'm gonna loosely track. And I remember him saying, loosely? What does that mean? I'm like, just kind of pay attention to what I'm doing and put things in my MyFitnessPal so I can kind of stay on track. And then from there, I didn't continue to gain weight on vacation. So that was my first point of success, loosely tracking. So for that, when you loosely track, so first thing, whatever your goals are, you want to act in accordance with them, right? So if you're trying to lose weight and you have a timeline of doing it and you go on vacation in the middle of it, like Rich said, balling out, you really don't want to ball out. You want to still be in line with that goal. So it's really up to you what you want to do on your vacation, but we want to give you all different options so you can figure out what's going to be the best for you. Maybe you try all of them and see, what you like best or what you're most comfortable with. So the loosely tracking, I would go to breakfast, lunch, dinner, all those things, and I would just take a picture of my food, right? Whatever I was eating, I would take a picture of it, and then when we would get to the beach or the pool after, then I would put it in. And then my next meal, I would kind of eat according to that. So I would plan as I went through the day, and I had pretty good success with that. So now I feel like I'm taking over and not letting Rich talk. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, how about the first vacation that we did
Aruba.
when you tracked Aruba? Yeah, what was that like for you?
So we've been on 2 vacations since I've been following all this. After Aruba, I actually lost weight in Aruba.
Me too.
We spent a week in Aruba. I came home lighter than when I had left. So that was my first vacation tracking, and I legit tracked 3/4 of the day, a little more each time we were there. So I tracked breakfast, 100% tracked breakfast, and I pretty much tracked my lunch. When it came time for dinner, I would go into dinner with an idea of if I'm hungry, I'm gonna want to eat, and if we want to drink a little bit. I would plan accordingly throughout the day. So if I knew we wanted drinks at night, I wouldn't drink so much sitting at the pool or whatever.
Right.
But I would try to track as best I could going into dinner, food and drinks included. So I had numbers to work with. And I think a few times I even tried to track a little bit, but for the most part, I just ate, but I didn't overdo it.
Right.
I had a meal, had a couple of drinks, and then
And
it
we
was
would-
still probably within what I had left in terms of numbers, but
Yeah.
I didn't overindulge.
Right. And in Aruba, pretty much all the restaurants we went to, we had dessert too, right?
Yeah, almost every night. I
Yeah.
think.
It was
So-
awesome.
But that was a lot of seafood and stuff like that, so
Right.
we were eating pretty decent food.
Right. So when you went to dinner, did you, after dinner, were you putting anything in your
A
MyFitnessPal,
lot
or
of
were
the
you just
times,
kind of
no, I wasn't. I would
Okay.
just my breakfast and my lunch, and then whatever snacks in between were in MyFitnessPal. But no,
Okay.
dinner hardly ever went in actually.
Okay. So you finished your day pretty much in close enough camp.
I would think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I mean, what a great option that is if you're just mindful of what you're doing throughout the day in, terms of I'm going to go to dinner and eat what I want, then really that's winning for sure. And you lost weight.
I lost weight on vacation,
Yes.
and I enjoyed myself.
Yes. So did you feel at any point during that vacation like, oh my God, this sucks. I really want to eat or drink this and I can't?
No, never.
Sweet. Very cool. So I want to add too, with Aruba, we were at a huge advantage because at that resort where we had our timeshare, we have a kitchen in the room. So we would go food shopping and we were able to buy the things that we want, and we cooked breakfast in our room. We ate what we wanted. We have these fancy little travel scales, which we would, just like we do at home, weigh our breakfast out. We would bring this to, if we went to lunch, but it wasn't that we were weighing every single thing that we ate. We were just doing that when we could in the room. And then we never brought this to a restaurant, did we, in Aruba?
Probably not.
No, we didn't. We did not. Because, sometimes foreign countries, they're like, what is that? It's a little strange. But if you're doing like what Rich did, you really don't need to bring this, right? So in Aruba, I did pretty much what he did, but I put my numbers in MyFitnessPal because I'm a little anal with my numbers, and I get tons of satisfaction with seeing those 000s at the end of the day or being close. But what I also found was I'm not a big drinker, so I had carbs to fill. So when we got back to the room, a lot of times I was eating things, right? The one night we did like takeout from downstairs after we came back from dinner because we both had numbers. So that's kind of awesome too. It's always fun to eat more. So let's talk about a couple like tips, tricks, things that we do with our meals that make it like easier for us to kind of hit our numbers, not go over. So like for breakfast, one of my big things is I love to have omelets, and we always take advantage of that station wherever we are. Wherever you go, they have one of those things for breakfast. So I'll always do egg whites with a ton of vegetables in it. And I ask them for, hey, can I have 3 egg whites with all of these vegetables? And I don't have them add the cheese. Because when they add the cheese, usually it's a huge handful, and you could be adding like 20 grams of fat in that, and you just really have no idea. And a lot of times they take a big ladle of like oil or butter and put it on the grill and then start cooking your food. So I always ask for the spray. So that's one of my big breakfast tips. I do add cheese, but I take the slice from the buffet so I can add it myself. Do you have any breakfast tips that you...
Well, if I don't do the omelet station, I'm not big on the vegetables, but I usually do hard-boiled eggs. I usually do some kind of toast, usually one slice of toast. A lot of times I just get scrambled. Actually, no, I stopped doing the scrambled eggs because of the fat.
Yes.
I don't want to overdo the fat at breakfast, so I would find egg whites where I could, put them on toast with ham. So I have protein, a carb. I can't think of a fat I was eating necessarily. I would do bacon.
Sometimes it's delicious.
So yeah, but I get a little bit of everything. I don't think I eat a big breakfast per se, but so I do a little bit of each, and then usually we snack before lunch anyway, so that keeps me, full, I guess.
Yeah. So another thing that we do too when we're away is, you could call it a form of intermittent fasting, and this is really not by Rich's choice. At first he didn't really realize, I don't think, what we were doing until I was like, look, this is what I'm trying to do. So we get up, we go to the gym, and we are in the gym for however long, and then I want to rinse off because I don't want to eat breakfast like a smelly mo, all gross and sweaty. So then we go to breakfast. By the time we get to breakfast, sometimes it's anywhere between 10 and 11. So if you're eating your breakfast at 11 o'clock, right, you're going to be there for a half an hour, sometimes an hour. That's your first meal. So think about this. If you ate your breakfast at 8 or 9, like Rich usually wants to do, and starts to get a little hangry with me, if we ate at that time, then we would be eating lunch at the time that we're eating our breakfast. So, in reality, you would want to or be eating more food, and that just gives you more room to, eat like an asshole.
We had to get croissants delivered to the room last vacation. For me.
We did. So room service, coffee and your pastries, please. And were you able to track that?
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Right? So it really does help if you're, here's another thing to take into consideration too. It really depends on who you're vacationing with, on what you want to do or what you're comfortable with doing. So if you're married or girlfriend, boyfriend, or, kids, you may not have the luxury of being able to bring a scale with you or, track as hardcore if you want to track hardcore. So I would definitely recommend having the conversation before you get on vacation for what you do want to do. Like when I said, hey, I think I'm going to loosely track, it wasn't when we were there. I didn't want to, do that. So I tried to set that up in advance. All right, so back to food. So we have our breakfast, we have our lunch. So when we have drinks, I'll let you handle the drink part. What do we do for drinks?
The drinks, well, prior to me tracking, I would have pina coladas, I would have frozen Mai Tais, I would have beer, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. So once I figured out all the calories I was consuming just from alcohol at lunch, I kind of toned that down a little bit. So I track all my alcohol up to dinner at least, and we started. There's no alcohol in this, by the way, but this is just club soda with a shot of Mio, and usually we put Belvedere vodka in there. One shot of Belvedere vodka is 69 calories. So you guys probably know how to track alcohol at this point. So there's no calories in Mio, there's no calories in club soda. So you're just working with 69 calories per ounce of vodka.
Yeah, you save a lot of calories if you're doing that kind of stuff. And not to mention, you can bring a ton of flavors. So it's like, every drink you can make it a different flavor and you're not mixing, right? So that's a good thing too. So we pretty much, I would say we treat lunch like we treat breakfast, right? If we're not going to a buffet, we're going to a restaurant on the resort or lunch out somewhere, and we're being mindful of what we're doing. If we're eating in the room, we're probably weighing. If we're not in the room, we're not.
Well, my scale comes with me, breakfast and lunch.
When we went out to lunch, did we go out to lunch?
Yeah. At least when we're in a buffet, if it's a buffet lunch, both of us have the scales out. I mean,
yes. So in the Dominican, that was our last vacation, which again, I was the leanest that I've been all year there, besides Aruba.
Yeah.
Same for you. So we would weigh at the buffets, like Rich said. And then dinner, we would treat our dinner. I treated my dinner just as I would here, going out to a restaurant. So there was a sushi restaurant on the resort, which we enjoyed thoroughly, like 3 times. And I would just look up in my FitnessPal, okay, I'm having a rainbow roll with whatever kind of different fish on top. I would call it Close Enough Camp and just call it done. If I was having drinks, I would put my drinks in there and kind of just be mindful of where I was with my numbers. We had ice cream sandwiches for dessert. We definitely enjoyed ourselves, for sure. So really, I guess the big takeaway is, what do you want to do? Do you want to track your breakfast and lunch loosely? Do you want to track everything loosely? Do you want to just eat what you want at dinner and not pay attention to, putting it in? Do you want to track everything like a boss? Like, what it really comes down to what your goal is and, what you think, I think you're going to be most comfortable with. All in all, really, you just want to avoid eating like an asshole, right?
I think so.
I think you're winning if you can avoid doing that on vacation. So is there anything else that you would give advice on, or?
No, but I'll just finish with saying that I've had too much success up to this point to let a week of vacation, or I should say in our case 3 weeks, because for the last 4 or 5 years, we've taken 3 vacations a year.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, if I weren't to track, that's 3 weeks in a year just on vacation, I wouldn't be tracking. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to ruin my results because of vacation. So
right.
It's easy to track. I do it. I want to keep having results. And if I overdo it, well, it would kind of be like what you experienced in Aruba. Mm-hmm. I don't want to come home and have to double down on losing more weight, basically. So yeah. I chose to continue tracking just like I would on any other day when we're on vacation. Because if you say you're not, then you take those 3 weeks of vacation and then whatever else. So Christmas, I'm not going to track Christmas, or I'm not going to track on Thanksgiving or my birthday. So it's always the same for me, and that's worked well and will continue to work well.
Awesome. And two, you know, for me personally, what I found was starting to happen after I experienced those, you know, especially that last vacation before I decided to start, you know, loosely tracking. I was getting a complex around vacation. I was like, okay, I'm going on vacation. Oh my God. And I was like worried that I was going to gain weight again. So you don't want to be stressed out about vacation, right? And especially when you're on vacation. I would know in my mind, like, all right, awesome. The first 3 days, I'm going to feel like a rock star. I'm going to be able to see my abs, and then slowly they're going to go away. And then by the last day, it was like, get me out of here, get me home so I can get back to my normal routine. And now it's like the last day of vacation. I'm like, hey, I want to stay longer. What about you? Can we do 10 days the next time? You know? So something else also for you to keep in mind before we wrap it up. If you're going on vacation for a week and you decide that you are going to track, if you're going to bring your body scale, your food scale, or just even track without scales, you know, whatever that looks like for you. If you have a dinner or you have a half a day or you track all day and you're like, I'm only going to have 3 drinks and then you have 17, it's not a big deal. It's one time, right? It's not like for 7 days you're going balls to the wall. So just keep that in mind. Be mindful. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your food. Enjoy your company. And really, it's vacation. So enjoy everything about it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So happy vacationing.